Hi everyone, here we are with OTD 502 Part 2, Cognitive Rehabilitation, Frames of Reference, and we're going to be discussing Claudia Allen's Cognitive Disability Frame. I'm Brenda Howard, and I'm at the University of Indianapolis, although not presently. I'm currently in South Florida getting ready to teach online classes. So let's talk about Allen now. Allen's Cognitive Disability Frame. Now remember, Joan Toglia was all about helping people recover. Claudia Allen is about helping people who we don't expect to recover, people who are going to continue to have cognitive disabilities. And so this is about functional information processing. How can we help people better process the information that they're taking in through the environmental cues that we might be giving to them? So Claudia Allen started this theory in the 1970s, published it in 1982. She wrote it for occupational therapists, but it's been widely recognized as useful for many populations, and so it's gotten wider use than just in occupational therapy. There is an Allen Cognitive Level Screen website that you're welcome to peruse if you so like. Allen looks on the areas of the OT practice framework that include process skills, the context, and analysis of activity demand. So she more focuses on activity analysis, breaking down the different aspects of certain activities, and looking at how those activities are performed within the different contexts that people are involved with. So she's very much look at the actual context that the person will be performing the occupation within. Now, here's a couple of terms that are really, really important for the Allen model. The first is brain conservation. The next is task equivalence and the just right challenge. And then there's some other terms there as well that we will discuss. But let's talk about these terms in a little more depth. Cognitive disability, again, we mentioned this before, but it's the global incapacity to do universal human activities. And that's where she focuses on people that have this incapacity. Brain conservation is a principle she uses that says that the brain only uses the energy that it needs to accomplish a task. So our brain only has to rise to a certain level in order to complete a task. So for example, the first time you drove to the University of Indianapolis, you probably had to concentrate a whole lot more. You might have had to use a GPS. You might have had to look at your technology, look at the roads. You might have driven on a highway. You might have had to figure out what's the best route. It took a lot of brain power. After you've driven to the University of Indianapolis about 10 times, you've got your usual route down and you don't have to think so hard. You can play the radio or listen to a podcast. You can plan your day. You can talk to your mom. You can do any number of things because your brain has more space to do things because it's only using the energy that it needs in order to drive to where you're going. So that's an example of brain conservation. Task equivalence means that tasks that have similar physical and cognitive demands to a desired activity can be used to predict performance. Allen's whole basis of assessment is based on this task equivalence. So what she's saying is that it takes a certain amount of brain power to complete her leather lacing activity. And if we can figure out how much brain power, at what level a person can perform that task, we can equate that to other tasks that the person performs and know that, okay, if they can perform the test at a level 4.2, then we can give them all the tools to set the table and they'll be able to set the table. So that's another very important principle. The final one that we're going to cover is the just right challenge. And this means, as you've heard before, the term just right challenge, that we're matching the individual's current capacity to their ability to function. So we're trying to provide the activity and the environment at the level that's going to help the person to be able to meet that and perform. Here are the levels in just very general terms. These are also in your Colon Tufano textbook. And they go from 0, which is comatose, to 6 being able to plan and anticipate actions and consequences. So a person who can perform at a 6 does not mean that they're a genius. It means that they're a functioning individual. So this would be just about anybody who is walking around without a cognitive deficit. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're completely at the capacity that they used to be at. It just means that they're able to perform at that functional level. Now, a person has to be able to perform at least level 4.6 to live independently. Now, this is that predictive validity. This is that idea of task equivalence, that if a person can perform other activities at 4.6, then they should be able to live within their own home with an expected level of safety. They may need some help with some higher order tasks, but they should be able to live independently. Now, I have a video for you to watch, and this is about LaWanda and her son Blaine. We're going to add to the forum some of your comments about LaWanda and Blaine, and this is a nice little case study that was originally a news story. And you're going to talk about what level do you think LaWanda is at? How would you classify her function and her disability? How can we promote change for LaWanda? What are some of the things and those are just some examples. You can maybe choose one or two of those and say, hey, I think we could get an assist level of this for LaWanda, and she should then be able to perform this particular activity based on what you see in the video, okay? They talk about LaWanda over time, but I want you to think about what you saw in the video, maybe pick a particular task that you saw LaWanda doing, and then how would you make that safe for her? So, evaluation within the Allen assessment is we have several options. We have the routine task inventory, the cognitive performance test, the Allen diagnostic module, and then the one that you're going to become more familiar with, the Allen cognitive level screen, or the large Allen cognitive level screen, which is the leather lacing activity. These can be seen at the Allen Cognitive website, and you also are getting a look, I believe, at the leather lacing in process class, either that or the placemat test. Those are things that are used to assess at what level is a person with the Allen cognitive level. And of course, fangirling once again, I got to meet Catherine Earhart, who is now the Director of Development at the Allen Cognitive Level group. Allen herself is now retired, but Catherine Earhart is the director there now. So I got to meet her at one of the conferences. I think it was St. Louis. Thank you very much again, and I hope you are having a great time, and we'll see you soon.